Hey everybody, welcome back to another Slimefun episode with your host Boomer. We are back on the original server that we started this series in. And today we are going to feature the new plugin by FnFal, is Amplifications. I've kind of coined this as a 3-in-1 baby. In other words, it's a simple material generators, light expansion, and infinity expansion got together and had a baby. And he's put together a great plugin. Here's why I say that. SMGs, simple material generators, he's incorporated some new generators into it, but with more of the feel of light expansion. In other words, you're not going to get material very quickly, and rightfully so. Additionally, he's got a lot of solar generators and power generators that give the power output and buffers of infinity expansion, but take more of the work to get there like light expansion does. And I think you're going to see all three of those plugins, the concepts behind them merge together very nicely and very conveniently. Now, another thing, I really want to give a big hats off to FnFal for this. The configuration file, everything, every generator, power, solar, and material are 100% fully configurable. Their daytime powers, their nighttime powers, the tick rates for the generators, everything is configurable. So you can create a custom situation for your particular server. If you want to make them go lower, go higher, faster, slower, whatever, just phenomenal job. So let's get into this. Since we initially talked about this on the weekly update, we're going to dive much deeper now and get a really good look at this. So we're going to start with the simple material generator aspect of this, FN's material generators. We have 8 different material generators inside of our guide. So we're going to just kind of start by looking at them. He's followed the principle that Wallace laid out in SMG, that you have a broken generator first. In this case, our clay generator is 4 carbon, 2 bulls, a gold pan, water bucket, and a diamond pick. That gives us the initial clay generator, but that's a broken one. You have to repair it. In order to repair it in an enhanced crafting table, you're going to need a couple of broken generators, some clay, a gravel generator from SMG. Now, the question becomes, what happens if you don't have SMG installed? So as you can see, if simple material generators is not installed on your server, he's got you covered. There's another recipe that takes its place regardless of which generator you're doing. Any of them that soft depend SMG in, where that one of Wallace's generators are required, if it's not installed on a server, there's another recipe that comes right in to take care of that. So great thinking, FnFal. Really love that. All right, same thing. All the other generators have the same essentially function and purpose, in that you will have to make at least one broken generator no matter what. In the case of the warp nylon one, you're going to need 4, plus some actual warp nylon. When we look at some of the other ones, for example, the terracotta generator, you're going to need clay and the terracotta generators. 2 clay generators that are repaired, 2 broken terracotta generators. Here, bone generator, couple of bones, couple of blistering ingots, so the price is getting up along with the Android. Diamond generators. Oh my gosh, we can actually make a diamond generator, but this one's going to cost you 4 androids plus 1, 2, 3 broken diamond generators, and of course some diamonds. And again, right now the recipes that I'm showing, I have removed SMG from the server just so that you can see what are the recipes by themselves. Same thing with the emerald generator. Ooh, look at that, a diamond generator and a couple emerald generators, and of course some emerald, plus the 4 androids. Each one has its own unique recipe with or without SMG installed on a server. Now they all run at different speeds. So the clay generator fires every 32 Slimefun ticks or every 16 seconds. The warp nylon is every 48 ticks or 24 seconds. Terracotta 84 or every 42 seconds. The bone generator is 256 ticks or every 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Diamonds, 192, so roughly every minute 36. Emerald 218, so every minute and 48 seconds we'll get emeralds. Dirt every 18 seconds or 36 ticks. And finally, the honeycomb would be every 26 seconds. So they are significantly slower than the basic SMG generators, and I think that was the right way to go. The basic SMG generators were stone, cobblestone, sand, soul sand, the basic materials. These are a little bit more advanced, especially diamond and emerald should definitely be much higher. That totally makes sense. Now, what else is in this pack? There's a lot more that we've got to unravel. Before we kind of look at the machines on the right, we're going to go back into the guide. We're going to talk about the power expansion modules. So we have 12 different power expansion modules, and we have 8 different solar generators. Starting with the power expansion modules, these have the feel of light expansion. There are a number of items that you need. They are kind of grindy, right? Here we go. Some copper wires, some copper ingots, a power crystal, a lightning rod, and some motors to make a power component, of which you need 2. A basic machine block, same type of thing. It has a light expansion feel to it. Now, part of the nice thing about this is that the pieces which make up this generator can be automated. So all of this can be automated once you have the materials. And yes, there is even a way to automate amethyst clusters. Granted, it's a slow process, but that can be done in vanilla. However, the assembly station cannot be automated, and that is this right here. You'll know you've put it together properly when you get the standard message. It's 2 crafting benches alongside a dispenser with a nether brick fence. The nice thing about this is the crafting benches still work as vanilla crafting benches. So you can still come in here, craft some vanilla stuff if you have to as part of the recipe and put it in there. Now, this is also dependent on light expansion being in, because iridium comes from light expansion. So how would this recipe change if light expansion was not installed? So same thing here. FnFal has incorporated an alternate recipe if light expansion is not installed on a server. In this case, it's tin ingots. And as the recipes become more and more difficult, as you work your way up through the power levels, you'll see that the ingots, they tend to become a little bit more expensive as you go. Great job. I really love that he's got alternate options. So whether you have light expansion installed or not, it doesn't matter. It's nice if it does, because it actually increases the difficulty of the recipe a little bit. If you have SMG installed or not, doesn't matter. It'll still have an alternative in there, so that whether either one is installed, they're not required. They simply change the base part of this and make it, I think, a little bit more in depth. Going over to the solar generators. These get to be a little expensive. So let's kind of walk through this math, right? We've got 2 energized and 2 carbonato. So right along there's 640 roughly joules per second that gets generated. But look at this one. It generates 1,024 during the day, and it has double the size buffer by default. And again, all the settings, all the generators, all the SMG type material generators here, they're all configurable, so you can change this to whatever you want. But this is a higher tier than all of that put together, which is appreciative, I know, of the community. Same thing here. Another 512 tacked on to 1,000, so it's 248. So this one's pretty close. But again, it's about upgrading to the higher tiers. So as you work your way and you get down to the 8th tiered solar generator, and you're generating almost 25,000 joules per second, well, it's pretty fair. I mean, look at that. He didn't just double it up again. He's got the numbers really close. And the power sources to be able to do it. So while it does probably cost you just a tiny bit more to get there, I don't have an issue with that. And considering all of this can be everything that we're looking at here can be fully automated. There's nothing in here that cannot be fully automated, I believe. So even the tier 1 generator, capacitors are fully automated, power crystals, all of these generators can be fully automated. So I don't have a problem paying a little bit more than what it costs to make them, simply because they are 100% fully automated. Again, going back to these generators, all of the pieces can be fully automated coming into the final module, where you just have to assemble it in the assembly station. So again, the cost to me is a savings. Even if it costs you a little bit more, it still saves you that critical time where you can be working on other things while that's being automated. All right, let's move on to the machinery in here. We have 5 different machines that we're going to talk about. The electric transformer, the electric compressor, the ingot condenser, the electric recycler, and finally the electric machine downgrader. So we have all these put together. We're going to talk about these. Oh, he's redesigned it. Very nice. All right. So let's take a look at some of these recipes. In the electric transformer, this is kind of like a process shortcut where you can advance through creating an item a little bit quicker, similar to the liquid add-on that Segan did, where it cost you a little bit less in material, but more in power to get there. So here, we're going to turn an auto enchanter into an auto enchanter 2. We're looking at 6 carbonatos to make this happen. So let's kind of real quick, let's go back and look at the recipe of an auto enchanter 2. Let's just look it up real quick. So when we look up the auto enchanter 2, 2 reinforced plates, 2 weatherproof obby, 2 blistering ingots. So you can see 6 carbonato overall is comparable. It's probably a little bit cheaper, but again, you have to craft another machine and use additional power and resources to do it. So adding it all up together, does it match out? It's probably pretty close. All right, let's go back and look at some of these other recipes in here. 8 carbonato to go from a disenchanter to a disenchanter 2. Interesting. I'm fine with it. I don't see that as a huge issue. It's still probably just a tiny bit cheaper that way anyways. All right, how about an auto anvil to the anvil 2? 12 electric motors. And again, that's fully automatable to make, the motors, and to get it into the anvil here in the automation station. It's not bad, and it's not like you're going to automate thousands of those. Motors are very easily doable, so to me, that's not a bad deal at all. All right, 3 electromagnets, 4 bronze ingots, 2 making connector nodes. Interesting. If I remember right, it's bronze, silver, and now I can't remember, what is it? And a cargo motor. So by looking at this, 4 bronze, 4 silver, and a cargo motor to get 4. So this is definitely a deal. It's actually it's a very cost-effective deal. Maybe add 1 more electromagnet. Anyways, taking a cargo connector, 2 hoppers to get 2 input nodes. So this saves you the brass and the bronze ingots used to get the nodes here on this one. To get the advanced output nodes, 2 cargo motors. Okay, I'm okay with that. A programmable Android with 2 memory cores to get the advanced. It saves you some material. All of these do save you some material, let's be honest, right? But again, it's another machine you have to craft. So for example, if we look at the tier 1, you need a lot of different pieces. So you're going to pay more in material up front to get this machine. And you're going to have to generate the power. So there's the offset. So first of all, on this machine, Fal, I think you did a nice job adjusting the recipes, and I'm okay with that. I would be totally fine with the power requirement and the crafting requirement for all those recipes. Now over here, how does this work? We simply put the materials in on one side and we'll get them out on the other. And we've got one of those fun little things there. What just happened? Try that again. There, we'll fix that. All right, if anybody knows how to fix that, please let me know. All right, let's look at the electric compressor. Same thing. Let's go into their recipes. So this is simply another version of the electric press with a few other things. We've got our 8 reinforced into plate, which is what's already in the game. I appreciate that adjustment. 11 blocks of coal, which is 99 coal, into 12 carbon, which is 96 coal. I'm fine with that. It's 3 extra coal, but again, it's automating the process for you from a block stage. Same thing with vanilla recipes right here. Oh, my recipe's in there too. Great, thank you much. So this is the same thing as the electric press. The difference here being the 64 uranium being turned into neptunium. Interesting. It saves you the time of the nuclear reactor of 1,280 minutes, or roughly, what is that? 22 hours, 21 and a half hours to burn through a stack of uranium to make a neptunium. So you pay for the material up front, but it saves you the time. So I'm fine with that one. 8 magnesium salts into a magnesium ingot. Interesting. So you're pulling the salt back out and taking 8 of them to compress it. Okay. I can live with that. I don't know that that'll get used a whole lot, but I can live with it. I'm just thinking because usually when you make magnesium salt, it goes to a magnesium generator. All right, let's move on to the Ingot Condenser. This was a very unique one that he's definitely done some revamping on. Let's take a look at it. So a 10 and 14 karat gold being combined into a 24 karat. This is where if you just craft extra and you need more, it's a one-to-one material cost. So there's no savings on it. So I don't have an issue with that. 33% blistering ingot with 9 uranium to get to 100. Much more pricey, but again, it's much faster and it saves you that nether star process. I'm okay with the trade-offs there. 2 Damascus and a compressed to get to a hardened. Same kind of thing. It's kind of a trade-off there, and the other materials that make that up, the duralumin and the aluminum bronze, aren't that expensive, whereas Damascus steel kind of is. So that one I would be cool with as well. 2 steel and a carbon to make 2 Damascus. You're saving the iron plus 1 carbon. I might have gone 2 carbon there, but because that really is a steel, I think that one's a bigger steel. The bronze and 2 copper to Corinthian, sure, I'm fine with that. Ingot, 2 copper to a nickel, yeah, I could live with that. Same thing here, to the cobalt, to the duralumin, aluminum, copper. So we found a neat way to incorporate vanilla copper in there. Yeah, because it takes much hard. I mean, you can do a zombie farm, but no, I'm good. I'm good with all of those. Same thing here, yep. So I would be good with any of those recipes, other than I would just go with 2 carbon on the Damascus one. All right, what about the electric recycler? So a lot of people have asked for the ability to downgrade some items, right? We've heard this a lot. And in some cases it might make sense, in others it doesn't. For example, to me, the uranium into small chunks, unless there's another recipe that requires small chunks, you have to make the small chunks to make the uranium anyways. That one might not get used a lot, but some of these would. So neptunium back into uranium. Now you notice he took 64 uranium to get neptunium, but only 48 uranium come back out. I like that. That kind of helps avoid the possibility of getting around some stuff. Boosted uranium back into 2 neptunium. Okay. And then more importantly, these are the ones that will probably, I guess, would get used a little bit more, is downgrading karat gold. You're not getting the dust back, which I'm fine with. That's got to be the price of using the machine. You would here on the 4 karat, but that would be the only one. Downgrading from 166, yep, and I'm fine with that. Again, that's the cost, the price. So here, it's going to cost you 75% of the magic lumps to get back down. I might have gone 3 to keep with the consistency of the price, because here it's a 75% price to downgrade. Just from a consistency stake, same thing with the inner lumps, but that's not bad. And then finally, the machine downgrader, which I personally will probably use a lot. Simply because as you upgrade your base, if you've got 150 of these things, but you need this one to make a different machine, or you've got the level 2s and you need level 1s to upgrade, say, towards an ingot factory, I'll probably use this a lot. And it's the same principle. The materials that you would have from the higher tier to the lower tier, you lose those materials to get that lower machine, but that's the price of being able to downgrade. So I'm cool with this. First of all, Fal, great job on all of the changes and the updates on the recipes, not to mention the integration with light expansion and with SMG. Or if you don't have it, everything still works without it. Guys, to me, this is a very complete add-on. I think we've done a great job here. I really like the integrations. I like the customizable options that are in the config for all the power generators. phenomenal. I can't say enough good about it. I really love this. So guys, I really hope this helps, that you learn something about it here. So many options are in here. This is truly, in my mind, a very complete, very solid add-on. You know, I could see additional generators being added down the road as, you know, maybe a next step. Although I would be very cautious on the tick rates, especially, again, the configuration options are great, but we want to be careful on the tick rate so that these don't become OP generators. And that would be my caution to server admins, is don't set diamond generators to 6 ticks. You're just going to kill your eco overnight. But as always, guys, I appreciate all of your feedback, suggestions. Again, another thank you to FnFal. Awesome job here. But don't forget, guys, when you're playing Slimefun, you got to go boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.